Welcome please to the Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 Jasper City Council meeting. We will now call this meeting to order. This morning we will have the prayer by Chief J.C. Poe and the pledge by Deputy Chief Heath Smith.
That was a weak hit of a gavel.
I know, and I sit here and pound it.
Bow our heads, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day you've given us, and thank you for this country we live in so that we might have meetings like this, that we can self-govern ourselves. And we just ask for your guidance and direction to our city leaders, and we thank you for them, Father. And we just ask you to keep your hand on all of our first responders and city employees, Lord. These things we ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2, consider approving minutes of the regular meeting held May 7th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Item 3, consider amendments to the agenda. Kathy?
And council members, we do have one amendment today. We would like the council to consider a resolution for our new TAP project application that is due at the end of this month.
Thank you, Kathy. We're going to put that in at 14A.
Thank you.
Item 4, consider approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So move with the amendments as presented.
Oh, sorry.
A second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. And then item 4, do I have a motion? Sorry, consider approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll
So
make
moved.
that.
Oh, try.
Second.
Oh, 4.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Item 5, consider approval of an event permit for the Jasper High School Cross Country Summer 5K Series. Jessica?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Council members, I'm seeking your approval for the Jasper High School Cross Country Summer 5K Series for the dates of June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. The start time will be 6 o'clock p.m. and they will finish up by 7:30. They will use the same route as last year, which is the old Simmons at Sunset route, which starts and finishes at T.R. Simmons Elementary School. The police, fire, and street departments have given their approval.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Jessica's the purchasing agent. Did she make them bid on this?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. And Jessica, receive report and consider a recommendation for hauling services.
Council members, for item number 6, I recommend we reject all the bids received and rebid the contracts for our hauling services and concrete ready mix.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. And Jessica, item 7, consider a request for permission to send bids for HVAC replacement at the JCC.
Council members, I request permission to send bid invitations for our HVAC replacement. This is for the activity room at the Jasper Civic Center.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
We discussed this in the work session and so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes.
Thank you.
Item 8. Do I have that? Consider an appointment to the Jasper City Board of Education for District 1.
Who do you?
I have Scott Thornley.
Scott Thornley.
I will
Okay.
open the floor for nominations to said board.
I make a motion that we nominate Scott Thornley.
And I will, and do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. So Scott Thornley will be the representative for District 1. Item 9, consider an appointment to the Jasper City Board of Education for District 4. I will open the floor for nominations to said board.
I would like to nominate Reed Pilling.
Okay. And do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Reed Pilling will now be the representative for District 4.
May I say something?
Yes.
No.
Maybe.
I would like to say, Walker Wilson came in, he was my first appointee, and he has been through a lot of stuff in the past 12 years on the Board of Education, but he has definitely been there for the phone calls, and I appreciate all the service that he's done. He's going to be missed, but I'm excited to have Reed Pilling on board and to find someone that was willing to be on the board. It's not always easy to find people, but if you see Walker out, tell him thank you, because that's a thankless job many times, and he definitely served during a time that was really, really hard. But as I hear all these national championships and you see us on the news and you hear Jasper, 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 even though I questioned it at first, it makes a lot of sense. And like my Walker Viking Sawyer said, Mom, you're always going to be a Williams, even though you took on Smith, and we'll always be Walker Vikings, but let's let these kids in their new school represent our city, Jasper. So he doesn't always come up, but I do thank Walker and thank all the board for what they go through.
Thank you. Okay, item 10, consider adoption of a resolution to authorize Mayor O'Meary to enter into an agreement with Sain Engineering and McGehee Engineering for a traffic study. Mayor?
Council members, what's before you is my asking for your favorable consideration for a traffic study back and drive at 20th Avenue. And before we act on that, I want to share something with you. I really believe that this sort of request is going to come fairly regular. All of you live here. Traffic is growing, 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 and pretty good indication to me the city is growing. But I want to, here's an observation that came to me unsolicited by the developer of Viking Cove. I've known him a long time, I've loaned him a lot of money. And not asking me to do anything for him. I don't need anybody to do anything for him. He travels on his own power. But here's what he sent me this weekend. And I think it's worthy for us to take note. Been in this business of developing real estate for a long time. And here's what he said. I watched what is about to happen to Jasper happen in Calera in the late 90s and early 2000s. Jasper is about to experience explosive growth. I hope you guys embrace yourselves and are preparing for growth like Jasper has never seen. The interest in Blackwell Meadows and Viking Cove is like nothing I have seen since I watched it happen in Calera. I've had no less than 6 home builders express interest in these 2 projects. I have the last 19 lots under contract at Viking Cove, and I have 2 letters of intent sitting on my desk for Blackwell as we speak. I'm sure you're seeing an interest in Jasper than I am. He said, I need to get busy buying more land. Now, let's look at that. 19 finished lots. So, it's been a long time in the banking business, and something I rarely happened up on is foolish people with a lot of money. You just generally don't see it. 19 lots, that's a lot of money. What's he gonna bring on at Viking Cove, at Blackville Meadows? I don't know. But just yesterday, Brett McCarver and I met with 2 developers from Birmingham last week. Just yesterday, they dropped in our hands their first proposal for a residential development across from Viking Cove, probably 52 homes there. So you look at 52 homes there, what's coming on in Blackville Meadows, and there's a good bit of land there. Now, you're probably looking at over 100 finished lots. What I learned just a few minutes ago, the same developer that's looking across the street will be in town in a few days to walk 4 different tracts of property to look at bringing diversity in housing to this city. That's the way you grow a city. If you don't have housing, you can't grow the city. So how do we stay abreast? You'd like to be out in front. I don't think you can do that with traffic management. Certainly we don't want to get behind. So I hope that you'll approve this. And like I said, I really believe that we'll be back to the table with more requests for traffic study, because when you think about adding 100 homes, the economic impact of that is just more than you can grasp. I wanted to
Thank
share
you.
that.
Mayor, this is a good problem.
It is a good problem. I can think of problems that we don't want to have, but
Yeah.
had a fellow, distinguished gentleman that lives on the lake this weekend that told me Jasper wasn't growing. I said, I beg to differ. And I shared some of this information. I said, these homes will not be substandard homes or whatever. And so, a plus for Jasper.
I agree.
Yes. Item 11, consider adoption of a resolution to.
Oh, I guess we got.
Yeah, we gotta vote
I'm
on
sorry.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will follow my comment with a motion that we approve the resolution to allow the mayor to enter into agreements with both engineering firms.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Thank you. And consider adoption of.
Councilmember, the next item I have, we know the great job that Capstone Health does in our community. They did, this is our work session, looking at doing some things to help our young folks in a back-to-school program, and we talked about the contribution maybe coming out of our opioid funds or whatever. And I'd like your favorable consideration and approving that, because as we know, those folks do a great job for us.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Thank you. Item 12, consider adoption of mid-year budget amendment. Kathy?
And council members, we talked about this budget amendment in our last council meeting and at work sessions. And basically what we're doing is we recognize that the city has another good growth year in the way of revenue. So I'd like to go ahead and move our revenue up $900,000 to bring total revenue up to about $36.4 million. And then also to add some additional revenue to a couple of our department line items, which was less than $30,000, but there were still some things that we needed to provide for. And that's all we have, mostly just some line item adjustments.
Thank you, Kathy. Do I have a motion to consider adoption of the mid-year budget amendment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Item 13, introduce budget amendment 2023-2024-13 to provide funding for an HVAC unit for the ACC and several other items. Kathy?
And council members, this was discussed at the work session on Friday. You had department managers come before you, Peter, to request funding to repair the HVAC system in the Chamber of Commerce area, $53,280. I'd recommend you get that from your Fund 310, which provided $1 million for park improvements. Carmen came before you with a request, need for some additional funds to purchase additional garbage containers, $10,000, and that's just coming from your garbage fund. We had a request from Brent to provide the funding for the new traffic signal design and other improvements on Viking Drive, $25,500. And then we wanted to provide the funding of $1,000 for the back-to-school health fair. That was coming from your opioid funding.
Thank you, Kathy. This is an introduction, so no action is required. Item 14, conduct a public hearing and consider adoption of a resolution to set cost for nuisance abatement.
And council members, this is a cost hearing, so the property that we have before you today is located at 1107 21st Street West. It belongs to Daisy Tucker, District 5, and the street department has recommended a cost of $9,857, and it was for the removal of an unsafe structure. So if Miss Tucker is here, and I have talked with her on the phone, this is the time for her to come forward. Miss Tucker.
How much was it for?
$9,000.
Hi, this is my first council meeting, so y'all. I talked to a guy named Brent back in February. I don't know what he looked like or nothing, but he told me the property value, tearing it down, gonna be $3,500. I get a bill. I got one for $9,600, and then I got another one for $9,800. So I don't have a clue what's going on with 3 different prices.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was quoted one price, and I told him it was okay for them to tear it down, because I was going to get my mom's house remodeled, but I got hurt at work, so that threw me off and back. So I don't think I should pay no $9,800, not no 3 different prices. So
Did y'all discuss this at the work
Quoted
session?
price. It was an estimated price. It's since February also gone up to $4 a square foot for the disposal, the removal, and the tear down. So that has changed also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't set the nuisance abatement prices. We've been clear about that. And it's not about allowing us to tear the house down once it is a nuisance. It's going to be torn down
Mhm.
unless you fix it. So
well, I had a contractor. He was going to fix the thing was in the yard, but he was backed up, and he was going to come. And he did quote me a price for $3,500. That's what he told me, and I don't have no reason to stand in front of y'all and lie.
Well,
And
did
I was on the
say-
phone with my
I did
sister.
say
We was on
probably around
three-way.
3,500, but I don't quote prices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I asked you. I ain't arguing or nothing, 'cause I ain't got
I'm not
time.
either.
But I asked him how much was it going to be if, the contractor could get to it and fix it. He said, oh, around $3,500. I was like, well,
Oh, around 35.
but I get a bill, $9,600. Then I got another one the other day for $9,800. So who making the prices? Who? I don't understand what's going on with 3 different prices, 35, 96, 98. Because I went and asked some guy named Lonnie, and Lonnie said, well, the mayor told us to charge you $4 a square foot. Whoever Lonnie is, right here at this annex bill. So
There is no line at the end.
whatever his name,
Yeah.
Lonnie, whoever he is, because he the one that redid the thing.
Yeah,
He had on a brown suit. Like I said, I ain't come here to argue.
I understand. And
I came here to get some understanding about,
Mhm. Thank you for coming, and perhaps afterwards we could have a conversation with maybe Kathy and Brent and discuss this a little bit further, so that you can have an understanding and we can understand what your concerns are as well further. Thank you.
till after that discussion, or
Should we
We
wait?
could do that.
whose district is it in?
It's Willie's.
Oh, where did
He
he go?
had a his niece
Why don't we
graduated
press
from
pause on
Birmingham.
that one?
I think
And-
so.
Oh, does that make, I mean, I hate to make a decision for him, but at least let's have a conversation about that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and we could definitely put this on a work session agenda as well, and
His niece is graduating in Birmingham, and so he had already said he was
Yeah.
leaving.
Okay.
So I think he definitely needs to hear that.
Okay,
So
sure.
I'll make a motion that we table this till the next city council meeting.
do I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes.
We just tabled it. to-
14A, consider adopting a resolution for a new TAP grant. Kathy?
And council members, we're pretty excited about being able to make this application for the TAP project. This will be a $1.1 million total cost, of which the state, we're requesting a $640,000 contribution, with the city paying the remainder. But this project will go around the portions of the new city hall and also Maddox Middle School, particularly around 3rd Avenue, where there's some height issues with it being around the school, and so they'll address those issues. It also will include lighting, so and it will continue the new sidewalk that we have been applying for, so they have to be contiguous with each other. So we're pretty excited about this, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. It also provides for a pedestrian bridge that comes across the town creek that can be used for foot traffic, for anyone that is parking on the other side of Town Creek needing to access City Hall.
That's great. Thank you, Kathy. Do I have a motion to consider adopting this resolution?
So move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. Item 15, consider amending the employee handbook concerning the accumulation of holidays. Kathy?
And council members, a couple of years ago, the city stopped kicking the can down the road, in a sense, and not paying employees when they worked on holidays. And this is just to make certain that the wording in our handbook is in compliance with our current practice.
So it's not changing the practice, it's just making sure the wording is correct.
Yes, sir. We pay employees that work on holidays now, as opposed to accumulating liability that would be paid in future years down the road.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to amend the employee handbook?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And yes. And Kathy, item 16, to introduce an ordinance to permit and regulate the operation of short-term building rentals.
And council members, not too many weeks ago, the Planning Commission voted to allow short-term rentals in residential areas. And what we wanted to do, since that is going to now be allowed, is also to provide some regulations as it relates to issuing business license for short-term rentals that will be located in residential areas. We did some research with other cities that have been doing this for quite some time. So what you have before you are recommendations from other cities and what they have experienced as issues that can come up with allowing this type of activity. We want to be certain that people living around houses that may be being rented short-term, that they're aware that these are short-term rentals, just in case they need to, as they see traffic coming in and out, just, they need the knowledge that that's what is happening at these locations. And also some issues as it relates to parking, noise, and making sure that these businesses also are providing the right insurances and things that potentially could be a problem for someone that might be renting them as well.
Thank
And this
you.
is just an introduction
Just
today.
an introduction. Okay, thank you. Item 17, receive comments from the mayor.
Councilmember, let's talk for a minute about a success story. Pickleball.
It's
A
packed.
part, now, I want this underscore, a part of Jasper Park and Rec. It's not like Alaska and Hawaii, that's not bound to the Continental 48. It's right in the middle of Park and Rec. So you provided the leadership to make this a reality. You ought to take a bow.
Yeah,
Now,
thank you.
this weekend, the Kiwanis Club hosted a pickleball tournament. Over 100 participants. There's a faction in this city that believes Park and Rec is in a lethargic state. We got 100 participants this weekend. That kind of refutes that in my mind. Never seen so many people having fun with there. It's been a good part of the morning. And I don't do Facebook, but reading on our Facebook. And one contributor said this council and this mayor built the pickleball courts for old folks. And when the old folks died, pickleball would die. Well, let me tell you what refutes that. Talking to the lead Kiwanis that's handling this, of these 100+ participants, the age profile had over 50% of those folks under 40 years of age. So I believe pickleball is going to be with us. The utilization, evening time, the courts are full. I don't think we've ever had anything that's had that kind of utilization. And you well know, in our last meeting, you approved expenditure for more enhancements to that facility. But a great tribute, and what it really, really brings to the surface, I think. And people have a way of having tunnel vision that aligns with their selfish interests. I think that's what we're in. But pickleball is a part of Park and Rec. We have people, 15,000 people live in this city that have different interests, and I think we do a pretty good job accommodating those interests. So thank you, and what a tremendous success story. Again, thank you for your leadership.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. I have been, my biggest complaint that I have heard is that we don't have enough pickleball courts. Well, so that's a good complaint.
That's a good one, and it's durable. It doesn't require a lot of our attention to maintain it, and so that's it. I'm just looking forward to our next project that we'll be talking about soon, and it will be monumental in nature.
Thank you. We look forward to that. Item 18, receive comments from council members.
I would like to thank, I just got back from the Alabama League of Municipality State Conference, and one of my favorite sessions of it is our roundtable discussions, where we are placed with people our size, and right when I sat down, pickleball was immediately at the table, and Scottsboro has 6 courts, wishing they had more. 2 of the cities were in the process of building their pickleball. Gardendale already has, so it was a huge discussion, along with firemen and certifications was also a topic at the table, but it was a great conference, and I am also proud to say that I was reelected to serve on the state board representing our congressional district, and I'm honored to do that, and thank the city and the citizens for the opportunity to participate in the league. So,
Thanks for representing us.
yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Item 19, receive comments from the audience. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
I would, yes.
And yes, thank you. This is,
Do I
meeting is
ever send
adjourned.